So, Professor Yaseen Ali, welcome again from South Africa. I know it's like about 6 p.m. there, your time, so I'm glad you're awake. And maybe you've had some water to drink and some coffee, and you're ready and raring to go. So, thank you and welcome, and it's over to you.
Yes, I am. I want to start off firstly in my introduction with an apology to everyone who's attending, from the Ancestral Institute, for the organizers, to my co-presenters, to everyone in attendance, for what happened with me not being here earlier. If you don't know, in South Africa, we have scheduled load shedding, what is now come to be known as load shedding. And it is a structured times during the day where electricity just goes off. So regardless of what you have planned, life takes over. And unfortunately, this hit, and I was in a state of panic, but luckily it got back in time. So please accept my apologies. I know that it shifted the schedule slightly and the program, but I hope that through my presentation, you might be able to pick up from parts of the discussions that took place without me actually being part of it, because you'll pick up from my research, the history that I'm going to share as part of my introduction, that the sort of research I do it's quite sensational. And the work that I have decided to go, it does have a sensational flair to it, but there's a deeper, more critical discourse that is embedded within that. And to the interpreter as well, please just don't feel shy to stop me along the way, because I do get very excited. This is an audience of individuals who are willing to listen to what I have to say. So I'm going to grab that moment in time, right? Not everyone wants to listen to this. So if I do get carried away at certain points, please just stop me so I can slow down. My title for my presentation is Rituals, Rites, and the Urbanization of Psychology. I'm also looking all over the place because I've got old school academic, I've got notes all over the place. And in putting together this presentation title, I thought to myself, this is exactly where my thinking is at with regards to psychology, with mental health, as well as indigenous knowledge systems and spaces, and how these intersect, interact, and the lack thereof, and what the implication of it actually is for the service user, meaning those individuals that psychologists are meant to be helping, those that we are meant to be healing. What is the implication of us functioning predominantly from within a Eurocentric paradigm? Because that's what psychology is. Psychology is a field of study that was introduced in South Africa and other parts of the world. In South Africa, I think it was the early 19th century, so around 1920, 1930, the University of Stellenbosch introduced psychology. And I'm going to shock you now. In 2023, the Health Professions Register has under 20,000 registered psychologists that are practicing in the country. And of that number, I think it is less than 10,000 that are the clinical and counseling category, meaning those that are specifically trained to work with psychotherapy. And if you take that number and just position it in terms of the population of South Africa, you would realize that we are not even tapping into the nature and the structure and the function of mental health and mental illness, and what it actually means within the various pockets of beliefs and diversity that exists. Now, I say that as part of my opening statement because psychology in South Africa is still a developing field. And as a developing field, even in 2023, our students are trained using textbooks, theories, and ideas that are not developed on South African populations. Now, you might argue with me and say, but this is a science and we need to understand the basis of a science in order to practice it. And I'm not refuting psychology or its epistemology or its various discourses or schools of thought. But my greatest gripe is that not enough is being done by mental health practitioners in South Africa and across the world when it comes to the inclusion of cultural beliefs and religious beliefs in